Hello and welcome to the Telegraph Studio. I'm Alistair Greener, and today we're going to be talking about how by joining forces, VESK and Nasstar are improving organisations' IT functions. And joining me is James Mackey from VESK. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, tell us a little bit more about VESK and who you are.
Okay, so VESK is an abridgment of virtual desktop, and I set the company up in 2009. The precursor to VESK was an IT support company called Appium, which I also ran for 6 years, and I slowly moved my customers across from Appium onto VESK when I realised that the way to grow a successful IT business was to offer cloud services. So VESK was my first foray into the cloud services world. Since then, we've doubled in size each year for the last 3 years. We've got around 20 staff, around 4,500 concurrent desktops, and our biggest accolade is that we've had 100% uptime on our entire infrastructure for almost 4 years now. So it's been a long journey, and a lot has happened, which brings us on to where we are and why we're here today. And we're now working, as you know, with Nasstar.
So tell us a little bit about that. What was in it for Nasstar? Why were they particularly interested in VESK?
We've come up against Nasstar over the years with tenders and probably since we started, and they offer exactly the same service that VESK do. So we knew who they were, and we've seen since the reverse takeover from Eno into Nasstar. We've noticed a big improvement in the way that they appear to the market and the way that the customers, the customer satisfaction levels. So we've been talking for around a year about potentially working together, and I see it as a good fit for my staff and my customers. So that's when I made the decision that an acquisition would be the best way forward for VESK and for Nasstar. Given
this acquisition, where does VESK actually fit in the Nasstar family?
Well, over the last 3 or 4 years specifically, our customers have been asking for more services outside of the hosted desktop. Things like local support, on-site support, telephony, unified communications, consultancy, business planning. Because we've got a very small specialist team and we're very set on offering the hosted desktop, we don't have the resources, the manpower to offer those kind of other and tertiary services. So by joining the Nasstar Group, who offer all of those services, we can now offer a far wider range of services to our existing customers and to new customers.
Now, it's a very exciting time, of course, with technology and everything that you're working with. Can you give us maybe a bit of a glimpse into the future, say, in the next 3 to 5 years? What are we likely to see in the workplace?
In the future, I see there being a fairly large change in the desktop estate. So how we've become very au fait with a monitor, a keyboard and a mouse, I see those devices becoming incumbent in the next 5 to 7 years. And as part of the acquisition and the strategy, I think that working together with Nasstar will be a great catalyst to help us achieve the progression of those technologies.
So to see all of that disappear on the desktop, that's a little bit science fiction, isn't it?
It is.
Can you maybe give us some examples then, in that case, of what's the workplace going to look like in the future?
Sure. Well, to summarise without going into too much information, there's a very interesting initiative that's happening at the moment called the Human Connectome Project, and it's to reverse engineer 100 billion neurons. Obama's invested around $150 million into the initiative, much like Clinton invested money, around $1 billion, into the Human Genome Project, which was only reverse engineering 3 billion genes. So the Human Connectome Project is going to open up a vast array of possibilities and potential for us as a business, and obviously for mental health issues such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's and schizophrenia. But what's interesting as well to myself is that we'll be able to upload our information via thought communication to a virtual desktop rather than having to type on a mouse and keyboard. The other way that we can actually use the information and visualise the information will be through Microsoft HoloLens, which I think is a really interesting glimpse into the future. There's already development kits out for the HoloLens, and hopefully it will be available fairly soon. The HoloLens is augmented reality, so it's a device that sits on your head, and as well as being able to, it's classed as a wearable, so as well as being able to see everything that's around me now, I'll also be able to see my VESK virtual desktop, I'll be able to see my virtual pet, I'll be able to see my vital statistics of my health and everything else. And again, to go on another step further, They're actually developing at the moment, there's 3 laboratories developing something called a soft cell lens. A soft cell lens is a contact lens that recharges when you blink, that uses the kinetic energy from your eyes to recharge. So in around 10 years' time, we won't need a full VR head kit. We'll just be able to have our soft cell lenses on, and we'll be able to work on our desktop, but also be able to use all of our consumer apps. So it'll be the first way that I see that we can really integrate business and consumer applications. And that's another reason why I think the acquisition is a great idea, because Nasstar will act as a catalyst for us to push into these areas. So it's exciting times ahead.
As you say, very exciting times ahead. Thank you very much indeed for giving us a glimpse into the future, and we wish you all the best with your business with Nasstar into the future. For the moment, James Mackey from VESK, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Alistair.